Hi. So my Mum's Health First programme. My main aim is to reach out to as many mums as I can in a group programme setting. So I need 5 mums to sign up to the programme, a minimum of 5 or maximum of 10. And I do the programme 4 times a year, so every quarter I will launch the programme. This programme for the next session is going to be starting on the 27th of January. However, I do have a number of mums who aren't able to make that time slot. So the time for the scheduled one at the moment is 12:45. So I've put it in as kind of a lunchtime slot, hoping that some of you will be able to have either a lunch break if you're working and don't have the children around, but if you have the kids around, that your partner or someone else can step in and look after them. Every week session is an hour long with some time afterwards for questions and answers that are specific to you and specific to the topics that we have been talking about. The reason I do it this way is because at the moment, I suppose, and over the last year since I launched this programme, there's a lot of mums I find that would love to be able to prioritise their health, but they either can't afford it or don't have the time to really focus on themselves. And I find this is a really nice way to be in that supportive environment, that you're in a community of people that are like-minded, they're going through the same sort of thing, so they have had children. It doesn't matter how old your children are, so you can have teeny tiny babies or you can have teenagers or even 20-year-olds. It doesn't matter. It's primarily for busy mums and busy mums of any age. And any mum is busy, I think. I don't think there's any mum who's not busy. But also, I guess for me, I see a lot of mums trying to do everything and trying to run a household, do maybe a paid job, organise the kids, the pets, just deal with the emotional stress of all the things that have been going on over the last year. So I created this course last year during COVID just to try reach out and make it more affordable and accessible to as many mums as I can. So I always say to mums, you can't pour from an empty cup, or you can't continue to drive without a full petrol tank or without petrol in the tank. So the emphasis on this program is really to learn what might be going on with you and how to address the signs and symptoms of you being maybe exhausted, or maybe not feeding yourself properly, not prioritising your health, maybe not getting enough rest. So in order to look after your family and do a really good job as a mum, I think it's really important to actually look after yourself first and foremost. And I'm not saying not to look after your kids and your partner or whoever else in your life you need to look after, but I think you need to stop and take stock and see if there is an opportunity to prioritise yourself. It's 1 hour every week out of the entire week. That's all that I ask. On top of that hour, it's absolutely optional whether you implement things on a weekly basis or whether you just take this information and it's there in your mind and you implement those things without it taking any time out of your day. In addition to the hour, if you wanted to, so if you wanted to catch up or you wanted to do any of the activities from the handouts, so every module I give some handouts, I give some exercises, I'll give you some recipes to try. So there's lots of information you get, but that's optional. You can use that for 10 years down the line if you want to. And also you have the recordings of the videos of every session. So if you miss a bit, that, say for example, your child is playing up or you need to change nappy or whatever it is during the sessions, you won't miss anything. You'll be able to catch up on that again later. And as I say, you'll have those videos to be able to download at any point, or you download them within the time frame, but you'll have them at any point then, if you save them locally. So just to let you know, what we cover really is, from my point of view, it's really looking at maximising your energy, maximising your mood, your happiness, reducing episodes of cravings or trying to fuel yourself with caffeine and sugar and so on. There's no bad food. So although I'm a nutritional therapist, I have a very open view of food. So there's no bad food versus good food. So we do cover a bit of that in the mindful eating section, which is session 4. But the first session is very much about understanding how to balance your energy, how to balance your mood, how to establish regular feeding for yourself like you would for your child, and why we have habits that we do ourselves but we wouldn't allow our children to do it. So we unpack a lot of that in the first session. The second session then is about, it's an extension of the first session, but it's about really how to feed yourself properly and what it means to have a balanced meal. So we get all this nonsense on the internet and on social media and so on about what a balanced meal looks like, but I'll really explain why you need protein, why is protein important, and why is it important to get enough of it, why is it important to get enough fat, and what's good fat, what's not so good fat, what that means again. Also looking at your carbohydrate intake. Why do you need carbohydrates? A low carb diet, is it a good idea or is it not? No, it's not, because it's a diet. No diet's a good idea. So it's understanding, why you need carbohydrates, and why, if you're reducing carbohydrates, why might that not be a thing to do as a busy mum? So you get to understand what food is really, really for, but not taking away from the pleasure of food. So there's nothing wrong with actually having, a nice big dinner that you actually truly enjoy. And I think that's covered a lot in the mindful eating, as I say, in the fourth session. The third session is about digestive and gut health. This is a huge one, so I try to jam pack as much information as I can within the hour. But there are lots and lots of things, signs and symptoms of poor gut health. You may have digestive issues that you're aware of, but you may also have signs and symptoms that you don't relate to your gut health. For example, low mood. Serotonin, 95% of serotonin is located in your gut. Serotonin is the feel-good hormone, the well-being hormone, the happy hormone. If your gut is unhealthy, even though you might not know it, you may have lower levels of serotonin. So it's important to look at those things, same as hormonal imbalances. You may have hormonal imbalance issues and you may be aware of that, but why is that important when it comes to digestive health and gut health? We'll talk a lot about those things as well. As I say, mindful eating, relationship with food, unpacking diet culture and what it means, talking a little bit about body image. That will all be covered in session 4. Session 5 then, we talk a lot about self-care. What self-care really is. It is not having an Epsom salt bath every 2 to 3 days and lying there for 20 minutes, because I know, and you probably know as a mum, that you're not going to get the time to do that, and a lot of mums get more stressed out about taking that downtime. So it's about the little things that is true self-care, and I give you checklists to see whether you are doing these things, and if you're not doing these things, what can you do to improve? So for example, a self-care thing is staying hydrated. That's self-care. Eating enough food, that's self-care. Not skipping meals, that's self-care. Giving yourself enough time to sleep. Now that's a difficult one that people, women in particular, can struggle with, because they're like, well, I can't give myself enough time to sleep because the kids go to sleep at 8 o'clock and then they're back up at 11 o'clock, or one of them's back up at 11 o'clock, and then I don't see my husband if I don't stay up until 11, and then sure, by the time I put the little one down it's 12 o'clock, and then I can go to sleep and I get 3 hours sleep, and then they're up again at 3, and you have all these problems. But we'll unpack all of that and go through, right, what are the barriers to you getting sleep? And if it is genuinely that you have a really small child and they're awake every couple of hours, but it's understanding the importance of what hours do you prioritise your sleep and why that's important to your overall health, and how you can change that even with lots of disrupted sleep. So we'll talk through that. Session 6 then is all about your menstrual cycle. So we're talking heavy periods, light periods, irregular periods, no periods, whether you ovulate or not. Nothing to do with fertility, partly to do with fertility if that's what you're interested in. So if you're looking to have another child, absolutely fine. But it's really to understand your cycle, and a lot of us go from maybe having tried for a baby for a long time, we know everything about our cycle, then the baby arrives and then we forget all about the importance of our cycle. But in my opinion, your menstrual cycle is like a health report card. It is so important to understand what's going on, not just for your health today, but also to navigate your way through the perimenopausal years. So in natural medicine, or in nutritional therapy and lifestyle support and lifestyle medicine, we talk a lot about perimenopause and how you should be supporting your body and really looking at what's going on in your 30s in order to reduce the any negative issues that may happen, or negative side effects that may affect you in your perimenopausal years, so in your late 40s and 50s. So it's really important and really interesting for a lot of women. Even if you're in your 20s, it's still important to understand what's going on with your cycle. And if you have heavy periods or PMS or headaches or whatever it might be, and you know there's a cycle to it, or you don't know there's a cycle to it, it's a reason to start looking at your cycle and maybe start to chart and track what's going on. And then you can realise, okay, that's a hormonal issue, and then go back through the sessions you did with me. How do I support hormonal issues? So as I say, all the sessions will be live. They will all be done over Zoom. I'm really looking forward to the day where I can actually sit in a room with real people. I can't wait for that day, but just not yet. But I can't wait when sometime, I'm hoping this year, maybe by summer, I can actually do this in person, which I think will be way, way better. And we could all get away from our children and not hear them in the background somewhere, because every time I do a video, I'm like, oh, please be quiet, please be quiet. A few minutes ago, before I started this video, I could hear one of my boys go, boobies, boobies, boobies. I was like, oh my God, please stop. It's fine. When I'm recording stuff for women, usually it's acceptable, but it depends who I'm talking to. But yeah, so if you have any questions or you want to have a free consultation with me, so I do free half-hour sessions. So it's a health and vitality session. You will learn something. It's not about me trying to sell packages to you. I will talk you through packages, and I'll talk you through the program and why it may or may not suit you, and how the best way that we could work together if you're interested in. But you do not have to do a package with me to have that session. You can do a half an hour with me, learn, pick my brains, ask me questions. It's absolutely fine. There's no obligation. So do feel free to do that. Or if you're interested in doing this program, you can still do one of those free sessions as well. People who have done the program before, or people who will do it in future, you do get a significant discount off my one-to-one sessions as well. So if you've done it before or you're interested in doing it, you can let me know. Other resources that you get while you're doing the program. So you get 12-week access to my app, which is covered in the program. So you can, if you want to, record your mood, your food, your sleep, your exercise. It connects with your Fitbit. If you want to record your sleep, I use a Fitbit, but primarily I use it for my sleep. I don't use it for steps really. But it links into that if that's what you're interested in. But it's another external measurement, so sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm not so sure we should be using that. But anyway, it can be useful sometimes to know, so you can say, all right, okay, I didn't get out for a walk yesterday and my mood was horrendous by the end of the day, or I didn't sleep very well, and you could look back and look at, okay, actually, on the days where I only did 2,000 steps, I actually felt rubbish. And then I didn't sleep very well, and it's a way to track. And I find that sometimes with people, it is a nice way to get you to actually look inwards at what's going on in your body and see if you do these activities, or if you take some time out, your sleep might actually improve, irrespective of food that you've eaten. So you can track those things if you want to. One of the things that I really, really encourage people to do in this program is that you track at least your mood, and you track your digestive health. So your digestive health, I'm talking about tracking how many times a day you pass a stool, whether you have felt like you've evacuated your bowels fully, or whether you feel like there was any pain or there's leftover that you just couldn't get rid of. We talk all about that in the Good Health session, which is the third session. So there is lots of information that you can record that will help you to have a picture of what's going on, and then help you identify and work with your own body. There's also, you get access to what I call a symptom checklist. So you can record the symptoms that you started out with. So at the beginning of the program, did you have frequent headaches, aches and pains? Did your stomach feel like you were pregnant by the end of every night, that you were so bloated when you're not pregnant? Or we look at also accomplishments. So looking at an accomplishment tracker. So the accomplishment tracker is looking at things that you have set yourself as an accomplishment. So I give you these as Word documents so you can edit them yourself. So I give you the ones that I use for me personally. So it could be, have 4 pints of water today. It could be get 10 minutes to myself. Whatever you want to do, And it's not a to-do list, it's an accomplishment tracker. So at the end of every day, you get to tick off the box, say, Monday I had enough water, Tuesday I went for a walk. And it doesn't have to be things that you do every single day, but it's a list, and sometimes it's a nice visual, and it's a nice way to also be able to share it with your partner if you feel like you're not supported at home. It's a nice way to be able to say, look, these are the things I need to do in order for me to stay balanced and happier and healthier, and for my mood to be reasonable, and for me to not snap at you. I need to do these things. And sometimes that's a really useful tool, just to have that conversation. So I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. So the course, as I say, 6 weeks long, 1 hour out of your week, every week for 6 weeks, starting the end of January. And if you're interested in, you can just book on. I'll put the link here, so you can just book on straight away. You need to pay for it in 3 stages. It's not all payable up front, so you can pay for it in 3 stages if you want, or you can pay for it all up front. And then if you are not sure what you want to do, and you want to have a chat with me, you can also book into a free session with me, and I'll put the link in there as well. So hopefully you found this useful, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon. Take care. Bye.